Hey, what's up guys? Eternal Fire here, bringing you a video guide on the Holy Paladin, the pre-patched Legion expansion 7.0.3. Today we're going to be taking a look at the spellbook, talent trees, some of the builds. We're going to be talking about the stat priorities, single target healing, and AoE target healing rotations. With that said, let's get into the spellbook. Absolution is basically the replacement of mass res. The healers have it now instead of, everybody if you're in a guild. Aura Mastery empowers your chosen aura and increases its radius by 40 yards for 8 seconds. Aura of Mercy, which is the talent choice I chose, has no target limit and healing increased by 100%. We're going to talk about that later. That's basically going to be your AoE healing cooldown right there. Avenging Wrath imbues you with Wrathful Light, increasing healing done by 35% and your critical strike chance by 20%, and reduces the cooldown of Holy Shock by 50% for 30 seconds. That last part about Holy Shock is because of a talent choice that I chose to pick. Beacon of Light places the beacon on a friendly target. Your heals on other party and raid members will also heal the Beacon of Light target for up to 40% of the amount healed. Your Flash of Light and Holy Light on the Beacon of Light target will also refund 30% of the mana of their mana cost. So basically you put Beacon of Light on the tank almost always, and whatever other people you heal, during the encounter or the boss fight or the dungeon, it's going to heal the tank as well passively for 40% of what you healed the other person. Also, the Holy Light and Flash of Light cost 30% less mana if you're casting it on the person with Beacon of Light. So Blessing of Freedom places the blessing on a party raid member, granting immunity to movement and parrying effects for 8 seconds. Blessing of Protection places a blessing on a party or raid member, protecting them from all physical attacks for 10 seconds. Cannot be used if the target has forbearance and causes forbearance for 30 seconds. Blessing of Sacrifice places a blessing on a party or raid member, transferring 30% of the damage taken to you for 12 seconds or until transfer damage will cause you to fall below 20% health. So this will really help smooth out damage on somebody who's taking a lot of burst damage. You can take 30% of the damage going to them, put it onto you, and then you have something like Divine Protection that you can use on yourself to help smooth it out on you. Then we have Cleanse. Cleanse is a friendly target, removing all poison, disease, and magic effects. Consecration is Consecration. I don't really know why we have that. Crusader Strike. Strike the target for physical damage, maximum of 2 charges. Divine Protection reduces all damage you take by 20% for 8 seconds. Divine Shield protects you from all damage and spells for 8 seconds. Cannot be used if you have forbearance. Causes forbearance for 30 seconds. Then Flash of Light, a quick but expensive spell, healing a friendly target for X amount of healing. And then let's talk about Flash of Light and Holy Light. Flash of Light is like in your emergency situation. It costs a lot more mana than Holy Light, but you're going to get that heal off quicker. You're going to be able to pick somebody up in an emergency where they're dropping really low, but you're also going to burn through a lot more mana quickly. Holy Light is a much more stable. If your group is in a very stable condition, you just need to put some simple basic healing up. It's a slow but efficient spell, healing a friendly target for X amount of healing. So yeah, it's mana effective, but it's a much slower cast. Hammer of Justice stuns the target for 6 seconds. Hand of Reckoning is a taunt. Holy Shock triggers a burst of light on the target, dealing holy damage to an enemy, healing to an ally. Holy Shock has double the normal critical strike chance. This is one of your main heal abilities. You're going to almost always want to use it on cooldown. Judgment judges the target, dealing holy damage, and causes the target to take 30% increased damage from your Crusader Strike and Holy Shock for 6 seconds. Lay on Hands heals a friendly target for an amount equal to your maximum health. Cannot be used on a target with forbearance. Causes forbearance for 30 seconds. Light of Dawn unleashes a wave of holy energy, healing up to 5 injured allies within 19 yards frontal cone for X amount of healing. This is pretty much just a weak AoE heal. It is a heal. It's only an 11-second cooldown. It's better than nothing, but it's not too much overall. Because Holy Paladins really only have 2 AoE heals, so we'll talk about that later. Light of the Martyr is sacrifice a portion of your own health to instantly heal an ally. You take damage equal to 50% of the healing done. So you have somebody dropping really low, and for whatever reason you have no other spells you could possibly use at that time, like you're going to use your Light of the Martyr and heal them for X amount of healing and take 50% of that healing as damage on you. So that is not an ideal spell. It is an instant cast, so you got to keep that in mind. You could be running while using it, but if you have Holy Shock and you can use that instead, definitely do, because you're going to take 50% of the damage. Redemption is just your res, brings the dead ally back to life with 35% maximum health and mana. And then we go to our passives. Heart of the Crusader increases your mounted speed by 20%. This does not stack with other movement speed increasing effects. Infusion of Light. Your Holy Shock criticals reduce the cast time of your next Holy Light by 1.5 seconds, making it 1 second, or increasing the healing of your next Flash of Light by 50%. So you get that fast cast with a huge heal, but still expensive, or you get that Holy Shock for a good heal, and the cast time is actually really decent now. So, you know, based on where you are with mana, you pick. Mastery Lightbringer. Proximity to your target causes your spells to heal for up to 34% more, or based on whatever, you know, your mastery is. So with that said, I think the stat priority right now for the Holy Pally is really going to be Intellect, Crit, and Mastery, and then followed by Haste. So those are the stats that I really think you want to prioritize, is Crit, Mastery, Haste, in that order. And then we have your maximum health is increased by 15%. But let's go back to Mastery. Let's talk about that for a second. Basically, if you're within 10 yards of your target that you want to heal, you're healing for the full amount of the mastery increase. The further you get away from your target outside of 10 yards, that mastery increase starts to decrease. So you start to heal them for less than, you know, you could potentially heal them for. So, you know, ideally you want to be close to the people you're healing, you know, making Holy Pallies the most beneficial in like a melee range for a healer, which, you know, is not something new for really a Holy Pally. So just, you know, keep that in mind. Oh, you see right here the I'm going to talk about this right quick because I noticed it. Aura of Mercy is your level 60 tier talent tree. It's a passive ability. Restore 640 health to 3 injured allies within 10 yards every 1 second. While Aura Mastery is active, which is this ability right here, and empowers your chosen aura. While Aura Mastery is active, heals all allies in the aura instead of 3, and healing is increased by 100%. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So we have our Aura of Mercy. It's a passive. It's an aura. It stays up in your, you know, where it shows your different buffs. And you see that the training dummy healing is being healed, but then you cast your Aura of Mastery, and I no longer need to be in 10, you know, and now it's healing for 100%. So you're getting a very decent little AoE heal. It's not, you know, a ton, but it is something. So that's going to be probably your main AoE heal as a Holy Paladin, along with your Light of the Dawn. So there you go. We pretty much covered the AoE healing rotation for the Holy Pally in a few seconds. Other than those two abilities, you basically just do your same single target rotation, which we'll talk about. In the first tier, we have Bestow Faith. Infuses a friendly target with Faith for 5 seconds, healing them for 25,000 at the end of that 5 seconds. So they get no initial healing. At the end of the 5 seconds, you get healed. Crusader's Might is Crusader Strike reduces the cooldown of Holy Shock and Light of Dawn by 1.5 seconds. So if you're going for a Shockadin build, that's going to be something you're going to want to use, because every time you use Crusader Strike, which you have 2 charges of, it reduces the cooldown on Holy Shock. Then you have Divine Steed. Summons a holy mount to ride for 3 seconds, increases movement speed by 100%, usable while indoors in combat, and that looks like this. So you just basically hop on your mount, even if you're in combat, doesn't matter, and you get it for 3 seconds. It's a really nice mobility boost. Then we have Blinding Light, emits dazzling light in all directions, blinding enemies within 10 yards, dealing holy damage, causing them to wander disoriented for 6 seconds. Non-holy damage will break the disorient effect. So it's just an AoE disorient. Can be effective to get out of tight situations, especially if you're running away. Fist of Justice, Judgment reduces the remaining cooldown on Hammer of Justice by 10 seconds. So if you're going for like a damage DPS build, you know, I think that's probably something you're going to want to use, but that's going to be more in like 5-man dungeons where you're not really too worried about the tank taking a lot of damage, and you'd rather put out more damage than anything, or you know, in a PvP situation. Then we talked about Aura of Mercy. Again, it's up there. You passively heal if you're within 10 yards, 3 people, unless you use your Aura Mastery. Then it's a, you know, no limit of people, and it's for 100% more. Then you have Holy Avenger. It's an instant ability on a 1.5 minute cooldown, increases your haste by 30% and your Holy Shock healing by 30% for 20 seconds. The other one we consider is Holy Prism. A beam of light turns the target into a Holy Prism. An enemy target takes holy damage and radiates healing to 5 nearby allies within and a friendly target is healed for X amount and radiates holy damage to 5 nearby enemies. So basically, you know, you could choose this as an AoE heal. You'd have to put it on the enemy target and then use the ability, and then it would heal 5 nearby allies. So that's another potential AoE heal. I personally like having the, you know, healing cooldown of Holy Avenger. That's just, you know, a really effective healing cooldown, and it lasts for 20 seconds, so it's a good chunk of time too. And then we have Sanctified Wrath. It's a passive ability. Avenging Wrath now lasts 50% longer, and also Holy Shock's cooldown is reduced by 50% for its duration. So while Avenging Wrath is up, Holy Shock is not 8 seconds, it's going to be 4 seconds. So that reduces the cooldown by quite a bit. And then Judgment of Light is something else you might want to consider, you know, just kind of think about. As a passive ability, Judgment now applies Judgment of Light to the target, causing the next 40 successful attacks against the target to heal the attacker for a very small amount, and the effect can only occur once per 1 second on each target. Then coming down, we have Beacon of the Lightbringer. This is, in my opinion, the best talent in this tree. The passive, it has to do with your Mastery Lightbringer. Now increases your healing based on the target's proximity to either you or your Beacon of Light, whichever is closer. The healing and range of Light of Dawn are increased by 30%. So that buffs your little AoE heal there, Light of Dawn, which is pretty nice. It's just kind of a added bonus to this ability. So basically what this means, you know, with your the way your mastery works, now you have to be close to the target. You can put, you know, your Beacon of Light on the tank who's going to be in melee range, and you can stay in the, you know, ranged group. And if you're healing the ranged group and you're in, you know, in range of the ranged group, they're getting the full amount of healing you can give them with your mastery. And if you heal anybody in the melee group who's within 10 yards of the tank, which most likely they will be, you know, you're going to be able to get, you know, cover everybody to the full, you know, effect with the mastery for the most part. So, you know, that's definitely the best talent you're going to want to take there. So we talked about the AoE healing rotation. Now let's talk about the single target rotation. So when you heal your target, you're going to want to put Beacon of Light on your target. You're going to want to use your Bestow Faith, which is the first tier. So you're going to pop that up. You're going to use your Holy Shock whenever it's up on cooldown. And then again, like we talked about, depending on the situation, you're going to use Holy Light or Flash of Light. And then you have your Avenging Wrath cooldown, you have your Holy Avenger cooldown, you do have your Aura Mastery cooldown as well. So you have quite a few healing cooldowns, much more powerful healer in a single target, you know, environment. And then as far as the DPS rotation goes, you're going to want to put up, if you take the talent for Crusader's Might, you're going to want to put up Judgment and then Holy Shock, because now they're debuffed with Judgment. You're going to want to use your Crusader Strike, which reduces the cooldown of your Holy Shock, and then you're going to want to just rinse and repeat that rotation. So make sure you keep that damage debuff up. You're using Crusader Strike to reduce the cooldown of Holy Shock, and you're going to have fun with that. It should be pretty entertaining. So guys, that is the Rep Valley. That's the Holy Paladin in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. Feel free to leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching.